Hello, it's Joe here again, recording another video for my retirement transition. I've been trying to figure out how to move on with these videos, so that got me thinking maybe I should talk about what I use myself to stay on track and plan my transition and retirement. There are a few things I personally use to keep myself on task. A lot of them are I guess they're more modernized versions of traditional methods, such as like keeping a notebook on hand or a planner. But I'm going to talk about the ones that I focus a lot on to keep me on task. There are Kanban boards. Popular one that I like to use is Trello or Microsoft Planner. Another one is phone apps. They have a service provided by the USO, the United Services Organization. Um, and they provide an app for transitioning service members. And then I also like to use my personal calendar. So first, let's talk about the Kanban boards. Um, so Kanban boards, if you don't know, is a form of agile planning, and it became really popular recently, especially with project management and agile planning movements. So there's a website called Trello, which has everything you need to get your Kanban board started. Um, I am an active user on LinkedIn, and so through my news feed, there was someone who actually created a Trello board for retiring, or they call it, an agile military transition. So let me show you here what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the Trello board that I first found on my feed, and here, let me just move it here in front of me. You can see these are all different cards, and each of these columns are like different topics. And so the person who put this together separated the topics by years, or I should say time. So it starts off from pretty much 1 to 3 years from possible transition. So this is just to, in case you have an idea that you want to transition, or if you know that you're going to transition, there should be a time, realize how much time you have left in the military to start the transition. As you can see here, these are all different cards with different things. So the very first cards is, he has a video on how to use this Trello board. And then he said if if there's too much on this Trello board, then just read the attached PDF. So, and there's a lot of good things on here, like reading books. So when you're like 1 to 3 years out, probably closer to 3 years than 1 years. Reading books on military transition, building your LinkedIn profile, researching veterans transition assistance, find any skill gaps you have, and see if you can get you some training and education, like certifications or degrees. Look into life insurance, and a big thing for a lot of military people is identifying your medical issues. What got broke over your years of service? So anyways, that's just the first column. But as you can see here, you move down along 2 years out, 13 months out, 1 year out, 9 months out. So what you're supposed to do is, as you reach these time periods, you open the card and you read what it says. So this is build and improve your LinkedIn profile. You should do it about 2 years out. So it tells you go to linkedin.com. He's offering, so Mr. Barker here, Mike Barker, this is the person who created this Trello board. Um, he'd like you connect with him. And the great thing about LinkedIn is the connectivity you have with other professionals. And then this other person here, Michael Quinn. Michael Quinn is probably one of the biggest like LinkedIn names, personas that I really look up to, because he is a recent um, military retiree, and he took on LinkedIn like it was his new mission in life, and he shares all this information with everybody. It's really cool. So within this card, you can see that there are several things. This is a topic that like a checklist, and as you go through it, you check the box on the side, and he's got lots of really high goals on here. Um, So I can do this, make 200 connections. I think I have like 267 connections. Upload a picture in civilian attire with a smile. Got the smile, but don't have civilian attire, so I'm gonna have to work on that one. Professional photo with a suit and tie. Sure, I'll have to work on that too. Change background picture. Yep, that's done. Input about. Um, I need to work on that too. Input work experience tailored to be civilianized. Need to work on that. Follow companies you're interested in. Always doing that. Always follow the companies that you're interested in, because you never know whenever they have any news or jobs. It basically, it's curating your LinkedIn feed. Join orgs that helps veterans. Do that. Definitely do that, because there's so much information. There's always new things coming out that you'll see how much information that you're missing. List work experience and achievements. Yeah, I've done that. I am not shy about what I've done and what I've accomplished. So I make sure that I put it all out there, because it's going to trigger like a memory in my head about a time when I did something. So, um, and that will probably help out with my resume, especially when it comes to finding a job, or probably job interviews, and they ask about it too. So that's that. Polish your headline and profile. This is I see people do this all the time. So I don't know if you're ever going to be done doing that. 'Cause I see people that find the job that they want at first, and then um, 2 3 years later, maybe they've outgrown that job, because it was what they wanted at the time, and so there they go back again into their LinkedIn profile. So just by clicking these, what, 6 boxes, 5 boxes, and I'm just going to click network, 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 because I'm always doing that too. So these 6 boxes, I'm 46% done with this. So what you want to do is, as you mark off all the boxes, then you can eventually mark this card is complete. You can move it. Um, if you like this card and you want to put it somewhere else, also you can copy it as a template. You can set a due date when you want it done. You can actually get like pretty granular on how you want to achieve the information on your Trello board. So, anyways, that's this one. I didn't want to go too deep into it, but I did want to show a similar one that I discovered last week. Which, by the way, last week was like really strange for me, because we had a 4-day work week with a holiday in the middle, and the weather was changing, and it was so weird, because Monday and Tuesday started off like normal, and then all of a sudden, bam! It was Wednesday. It was Veterans Day, and like I don't even remember if the weather was good or not. The weather's been changing a lot here recently. It's been raining a lot, and it's getting cold, and then it warms up again. But then Thursday came along, and then Friday, and it was like everyone at work was off rhythm. So we just couldn't get our feet back under us, which, by the way, like affected me um, as far as like just doing things, working on my transition and my retirement. Because before then, every day I would go onto LinkedIn, I would read things, articles, I would post things. I was participating in this 30-day post challenge uh, by Michael Quinn. And last week I was just like, oh, I was just mentally exhausted. I just couldn't do it. So as I was casually sitting there scrolling through my phone, another Trello board showed up. And this one is interesting in the fact that it's very similar, but this person started putting like other things in it, like inspirational parts, and he doesn't call it your military transition. He calls it your liberty. So if you know anything about military, liberty is the free time that you have after work, and in this case, I guess it's freeing yourself from being in the military. So a lot of the cards here that he has are very similar to this previous one over here. Finally, I let me see. So we talked about the agile boards. I also have phone app that I use. So USO has a transition program called Pathfinder. So here's the USO's webpage. This is their program, the USO Pathfinder Transition Program. You can see here it talks about it. There's a video you can watch on what they do. and they help you on different things: employment, education, financial readiness, mentorship, and also they really, in the community that you're in, they're really involved, being the USO, and they really help you connect with the resources that you need in a local community. So it's it's not obvious here, um, but once you connect with the transitions um, representative or professional, um, this like sort of the Pathfinder is like a back door into a separate part of the USO, and it's not on their website at all. So you have to download the USO app onto your phone or your tablet, and on there you get a lot of these same buttons up here. But when you get enrolled into the Pathfinder program, a new button appears, which is like a little globe or compass. Sometimes it looks like a globe, but I think it's actually a compass. And there you could interact with your Pathfinder transition expert, and they can start doing things. So I'm going to talk about that. All right. Ooh, I just hit the microphone. Let's take a look at the USO app on the phone. The USO app is a regular USO app for your phone, either Android or iOS. But when you join the Pathfinder program, you get an additional button on the right. So if you look on the bottom right hand corner, there's a little globe, and this is the USO Pathfinder app. In this app, you can see the scout that you're assigned. You can have different ways of communicating with them, either directly calling them or emailing them. And it's a dashboard, so you have your action plan there. It tells you how many days left, which is pretty scary to look at. And you could see how many tasks in total you have loaded. So I have 8 tasks altogether, and I've completed 3, and there's 5 active. So let's take a look at the tasks I have loaded to me. So Patrick assigns tasks to me and I complete them, but I can also create new tasks for myself. And actually, I think I should be doing that because I've been doing other classes and sessions provided by the military, and I should add those on here too, just so we can see that I'm being active. So anyways, so far all I've seen is there's 2 different types of tasks: employment oriented tasks and VA benefits tasks. I have something coming up next week, VA home loan learning session. So let's go ahead and click that. So on November 18th, USO and the VA come together for this workshop, and it's about VA home loans, and then you get a link to it. So I think this is on Microsoft Teams. If it's not Microsoft Teams, it's either Cisco WebEx or it's on Zoom. But it depends on whoever's giving the course. So going back, you can look at the employment tasks. So here's hiring our heroes. They have a US resume assistance course, and basically just it explains what the task is about and gives you the website. And when you're done with that, or when I'm done with that, I'll just mark it as complete. It gets complete, so I can just do that, and it gets moved over to completed. But I can't uncheck it, I think. Oh well. Sorry, Patrick. I screwed up. Anyways, I guess I'll just make an effort to go with them and take care of that, right? All right, and let's see what else. So you can also communicate with your scout. So here's emails between me and Patrick. We haven't talked to each other on this app in a while. However, we do message each other through email and LinkedIn, so that works out pretty good. Anyways, this is the USO Pathfinder app. It's pretty useful because it's in my pocket and I can whip it out and take a look at it whenever I want. I try to stay proactive with the USO and let them know my interests, and they load me up with different things. So maybe in a few days this might have more, or it'll be the same. Anyways, it's pretty cool. Awesome. Okay, so moving on. All right, so that was the USO app. Final thing I'd like to talk about is how I organize everything. I do everything on my calendar. I have a work calendar. I use Outlook, Microsoft Outlook at work. At home, I use Google Calendar, and I use that with my family. We share a family, or whenever I have appointments, all my family can see when I have something going on. And calendars, yeah, they work good because wherever I am, I get a notification either on my phone, or if I'm at work, it pops up on my screen. Little notification, just boop, comes up, and then I have to click it to acknowledge that I have something coming up. I tried. I can't say I tried using a planner. I mean, that was like something that I used a while ago, but having digital calendars really, really, really helps out. The USO transitions, the Pathfinder folks, whenever they have something for me, they send me a calendar invite. Whenever sfl-tap has something for me, they send me a calendar invite. My calendar automatically loads it up once I accept it, and there it is. The only thing I really have to do with the calendar is probably juggle other appointments I have around those events, or I have to try to negotiate like a different time to attend events happen well, not frequently. They happen often enough where if I didn't have the time to go to one, I can go to one later. They're either like once a month or every other month or once a quarter, but definitely have to try to get them done during this transition period. Anyways, that's about it. I hope you liked what you saw. I hope you understood everything that I talked about. I know that there was a lot of information there. But next time, I'm probably going to talk about some of the experiences I've had over the past few weeks going through SFL Tap and recapping my impressions of the Hiring Our Heroes Summit. That was pretty cool. I have a lot of notes that I wrote down in a notebook. So I'm going to try to parse through all that stuff and see if there's anything interesting. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and showing interest in my final year in the Air Force. Thank you again. All right. I will talk to you later. Bye. Oh, now I have to edit out wiping my nose.